Second thing I wanted to check for, because remember, all small engines need to have a gas fuel mixture, they need to have spark, and they need to have compression. Is how do I check the compression? 3 different methods you can use to check compression. Once again, you got to have the safety mechanism, the grounding taken off. So this time, instead of using a clamp, I'm going to show you how you can just use a little tape. I'm sure lots of you have duct tape, masking tape at home, and just wrap this around here. With a little tension, so I'm going to wrap it 3 or 4 times so that it doesn't come off. And if you're worried about it breaking loose, and you're just using thin masking tape like this, if you find another spot, do it again. If you had duct tape, you've got nothing to worry about. So, 2 methods you're going to require us to remove the spark plug. And we're going to leave the spark plug off so we don't get ourselves electrocuted. And the one method is you're going to take your thumb, place it over the spark plug hole, and then you would have somebody give it 3 or 4 pulls. And does it pull your thumb in on a intake stroke or a power stroke, even though it's not going to power right now because we've got it grounded? And does it push your thumb off when it comes up on the compression stroke or the exhaust stroke? So give it 4 or 5 pulls, you can feel your thumb go in and out and in and out. Should be a pretty strong push. That's a real simple way to do it. And to be honest, it's the way that I use 80% of the time. So if it pushes your thumb off, pulls it in, I'm like, that's good compression. Because I don't know what the PSI of this lawnmower is until I look it up. The other method is to use compression gauges. 2 different styles. We have one where you just place it in the hole here like this, and you got to hold it tight, and somebody has to pull it for you. Or you have the style here where you can actually screw it into the spark plug hole, and you want to get it tight, but it doesn't leak. Set that down, and then you're just going to go give it 5 or 6 pulls. Like if you were to start get a good equal balance. Anybody can tell if the gauge is jumping around? And this tells us that we have I can take this out, it won't go down. First we have PSI, compression of about 58 pounds, 56 pounds. On a normal small engine, anywhere from that 4 to 7 horsepower on a push mower, 60 PSI is fantastic compression. Everything's good. This is at 56, so it might have a little leakage here or there, but that's still pretty good. I can also, once I have the serial model number, I can go online and look up and I can find the exact rating. I mean, it may be only 58, or it might come, it's got to be 62, and I know the exact rating. I'm going to guess this is a pretty good compression on that engine. If you ever want to reset this, you just press a little button, and it resets itself. The last thing we can do is check recoil on your blade. So I'm going to put this back in and tighten the spark plug. I'm not going to hook the coil wire to it because I don't want the spark to take off. Okay, so I'm just going to tuck this away. And I'm going to roll it on its side, and I'm going to do a blade check. Anytime you roll a small engine on its side, you always want to make sure that the air filter side is up. If I roll it this way, oil is going to run into the air filter out through the carb, and we're going to have major burn issues, and we're going to have lots of issues. If I roll it this way where the air filter is facing up, that oil won't leak out. I'll turn this, roll it up on the side like this, and what you do is you give this a really good fast swing, and you look, do I get recoil? I mean, this is tight, and it's bouncing back. See? If you can take that spin and it goes and spins around, that means you have no compression. But just by going like this, and I'm pushing pretty hard, you get that recoil right back at you. You know that the piston, or the rings in the piston are grabbing, the valves are sealed, and it's just full of air in there, and it takes a lot of muscle and power to push that out of there. And that happens when we have combustion. So right now, I would start this engine by doing my gauge test And doing that test right there with the blade, I would say this engine has really good compression. I didn't do the thumb one because I would need somebody to pull start it. I hold my thumb on there, or they do that for me. So once again, there are 3 ways to check compression. One is the thumb test, one is a gauge test, and the third one would be recoil of the blade on like a lawnmower. If it was a tiller snowblower, you could go and you could push the front blades and do they recoil back at you. Okay? Just 3 great tests to check. Doesn't require money because you don't even have to use a gauge, and you can get a good check on your compression.